Good morning, everyone. Monday morning, we just got done watching the new Coffee and Comic Show with Bueller and Bob, and I was going to pop on here for a few minutes and go over some books that we got in. So I've been gone quite a bit over the last few weeks with the wife and I kind of travel the surrounding states, Idaho, Wyoming. Eventually, we're going to get up into Montana doing the charity work. So I haven't been able to keep up with regular type content. So today I'm just going to take a few minutes and we're going to go over a few books that we got in for some pressing services. And I thought I'd discuss this a little bit, and I got some CGC stuff to discuss as well. Actually, John, there just wasn't enough interest, and I didn't want to have these books sell for like pennies as we're trying to raise money for the American Cancer Society. I think everybody was just kind of burned out. Gary had an auction over the weekend. Torpedo Comics did. I think Jim Mint did, and of course Bueller did 3 nights in a row. So I'm going to kind of let it rest a little bit and give people a chance to recoup from that, and then we'll have them up and available. I may actually be listing some of the stuff on Macari as well, because we want to maximize the amount of money that we're raising for the charity. So that's kind of where we're at on the charity sale books. But anyway, so I do have some books to show off. I've got a really good customer. He's kind of a spec buyer, and he buys books in large lots, and he's really done a great job on what he's bringing in. And so you'll see some stuff that's somewhat familiar. There's a lot of Star Wars in this lot this time around. He brings me 26 books at a time. He's kind of found a perfect formula. If you submit your 25 book order with CGC and then send one book in on fast track, they will check them all in at the same time. The other ones still take a little while, but they get kind of moved towards the front of the queue that way. And he's been doing that for some time and had really good results. So we'll just run down the books that we got. So the first one is, we've got Miss Marvel. This is issue number 12. And everybody knows it's a pretty decent key. And these are all in really great shape. Of course, we do try to, I see a couple spine ticks on them. Nothing that breaks color, so those will come out and look real nice. Corners look fantastic. So, he's definitely got a few 9.8 candidates in the lot. That's been a real hot book. I've seen this one come through quite a bit. Good morning, Bob. Just got done watching your show, and I'm in your corner, man. I think you got Bueller hands down. Just saying. So Miss Marvel 12, that has been a real popular book. We've seen that one come through quite a bit. Of course, issue number 1 of Miss Marvel. So as you can see, this gentleman has a really great eye. This is, I believe this is the 1 in 25 on that book. And it's actually starting to climb up there pretty well. These modern ones are real easy to press. It's got some great classic Star Wars. We got issue number 4. That's the 30-cent cover, so we know that's a first print. Good morning, Bobby. Good to see you here this morning. Of course, Bobby donating that amazing original art for the charity auction last night, and we still have another piece of that's going to be going up for auction when things get a chance to settle. And then our next book is, we have Star Wars number 43. Of course, that is the first Lando Calrissian in comics, and the second Boba Fett. So that one's got some pretty decent chops as well. I've got all of these for my personal collection. I got both of these. And this one, so one thing that we see a lot with this era of book is right in through here, you can see kind of the line from, let's see if we can tap that over a little bit. But it's kind of at an angle. It's kind of at a weird angle. So you've got more white down in here than you do up here. So the book was kind of off center. And they kind of take that into consideration when they do the grading on them, but it is very common with this era of book. If I have to imagine, I think that the back of this book is the Evel Knievel Lad, which is a text on white background. And we get a lot of soiling on the back of these. This is particularly hard to clean when you get the gap in here, because you got to be extremely careful not to, in your dry cleaning process, kind of mess up that black line, because it's just a solid black line down through there, and it's real easy to do. So you need to be really careful with that. But great book. Like I said, first Lando Calrissian, second Boba Fett. And speaking of whom, of course, the Star Wars Age of Rebellion from Marvel, that's Boba Fett. We've got a nice Dr. Aphra, issue number 3. The ratio variant on this Darth Maul issue 2, I think that's a great book. Maul, of course, extremely popular. I would like to see Darth Maul show up in The Mandalorian. I think it's possible. If he does, a lot of these books are going to jump, of course. But we can definitely see some cool stuff there. We've got just some low-end spec Star Wars issue number 1. That's the Dark Horse series. Master Jedi Mace Windu. Love that cover. Kind of a purplish tint on it. So there's a lot of buzz around this one. Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace. This is issue number 3. I know at one point this one was being talked about as being the first appearance of Darth Maul in comic books. There's about 4 or 5 books that came out around the same time that all had Maul somewhere in them. One of them is just an ad, as I recall. So it's really hard to kind of pin down what that actual first appearance is. But I would think that it would be in one of the Episode 1 books. But very cool stuff there. This is a super cool book. This is Darth Vader number 6. This, of course, the first appearance of the Grand Inquisitor. So that one ought to go for a pretty penny. I think that's a good spec on that book as well. Extremely hard to get in high grades, as you can tell. A lot of dark on the cover, which typically will break and fade out. So to find these in good condition is going to be difficult in the progressing years. So probably a good call is getting those in. So this one is the first cameo of Sabine Wren, I believe. Kanan, issue number 6. Of course, Sabine showing up in on Disney Plus in The Mandalorian. So super cool there. I think that's a good book, and it looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Picked them up for $3.99 a piece. I mean, that's a heck of a deal there. I think that's going to be a super hot book. This is the 1 in 100 Star Wars number 9. Nice black and white sketch. That's pretty cool. We got Herm showing up to say hi. Good morning, Herm. How you doing today? This one's very cool. Star Wars issue number 4. That is the A cover. Second print. And he's got 3 of the 1 in 100 black and white variants on that one. Ooh, losing my little stand there. Now, another super cool book. This is kind of a flash from the past. I've held a couple of these, and this one is actually in excellent condition. I got a few ticks to work out, but one that you don't see very often. This is Malibu Sun. This is the first ever Spawn in print, and these were sent out, I want to say San Diego Comic-Con. I could be wrong. 1992, of course, that beautiful Spawn on the cover. Because of the nature of the book, it was kind of a giveaway at conventions and that type of thing. And because of that, we don't see many of them in this great a condition. There is a crease down here that's going to press out. We got some issues around the staples, and of course some non-breaking ticks. I have seen a couple of these. One of the used bookstores near me has one that she's not sure what to do with. But I've seen these going for quite a bit, and we can, I'm not sure if we can actually bring it up here. We'll take a look. Malibu Sun, number 13. Oh, it is. So we've got it on cover price. Issue number 13, May 1st, 1992. Spawn cover appearance and preview. So raw comic average on this one is $690. So it's pretty respectable. And then we have the 9.6 at $1,400. I was not even aware that there was an error on that one. So if we're looking at graded, so your 9.6 is at $1,400 on an average. We've got 7 recorded sales at a 9.6, and only 6 at a 9.8, because they are so hard to find in higher condition. I would expect some of those 9.8s are probably resells of the same book, but that's coming in at almost $6,000. So just a killer book. If you can get your hands on it, for your Spawn fans, that's a must-have. Super, super cool book. Malibu Sun, number 13. So this one, he's going to fast-track this one and send the other 25 in. And then when the box gets opened up and this gets checked in, they'll kind of push the rest of them to the front of the line. So, and I've actually seen it work for him. It works out pretty good, and it's a pretty cool way to kind of game the system a little bit. And then, of course, my buddy over at Hive Comics, James, handed me a store folio. Let's see what's in it. These are all books that he's specking on, and I've learned to trust James and his judgment. He's always given me just super cool books. So I don't know if he's aware, but don't ever do this. The backing board on this, somebody took a piece of construction paper and put it on the back. Don't ever use construction paper. So we've got X-Men issue number 6. Some Silver Age goodness there. It's a beautiful book. And as you notice, this has got a store stamp in it. And it looks... Okay, so this book and the next one, it looks like they're from Italy. It's got a Napoli stamp on it. So they're American books that were sold in Italy and have come back this way. And he imports a lot of books. That's where we got those super cool Del Auto #1 books from, those Italian variants. And so he's bringing in actually a lot of silver from Italy, and it's American silver. So, and then, they got dates on it. So up here, issue number 6 from 1964, and then we've got issue number 12 from 1965, Origin of Professor X. And again, it's got that stamp on there. Now, stamps like these, I do very little with them for 2 reasons. One, CGC really does not ding the grade for them. So there's really no sense in doing that. If you could remove it, of course, it would help the book to present better. I personally like it. I think it adds some provenance to it. But things like this, I could clean this. The white is easy enough to clean, right? So I could get that out. But you'd still have all of the rest of that stamp in the red areas. If I were to attempt to remove that stamp from the red areas, it's going to remove the actual red ink, and you don't want that. So so for the most part, you want to leave those intact, and they get overlooked. You may have a note in your grader notes, but it's still going to get a blue label, and it's still going to retain whatever grade it's going to be. And then you have to look at the overall book as well. So looking at this book, I'll see if I can get it up here. I don't have my gloves on, so I don't want to pull it out, but you can see, of course, a real nice tick here that's going to break color a little bit. And then there's quite a few color breaks down there. So, it's going to be a low, mid to low grade book anyway. So there's not a lot you want to do as far as heavy cleaning, because you don't want to risk damaging it anymore. And the payoff, the reward to effect isn't there. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to do a lot of work on those type of books. I mean, they're beautiful books. It'll be great to see them in a slab. They're going to present extremely well. Both of them are fantastic, and they're not going to be cheap books by any stretch of the imagination, even in the grade that they're going to come back. But just something super cool. And they're going to press out real nice. Both of them have a bit of a roll on them. And then, of course, Ultimate Fallout 4. I've probably pressed, this next book, Ultimate Fallout 4, A cover. So I probably pressed 250 of these in the last 6 months. Like, it's just an extremely hot book right now, and we're just going through them like crazy. So this one, it looks like it was probably a reader copy, and these early reader copies are the ones you want to try to find because they were taken out of the poly bag that it came in. There is, and this one is actually in really great shape, but I don't know if I can capture it on camera. A known issue with this particular book is right there. You can kind of see that crease. That's actually in the cover of the book, and they go right down the whole book. So it'll start up here and go all the way down. It's not as pronounced as a sub crease, but kind of looks like that's what it could be. And that comes from where the line sat on those poly bags. And then when the books get smashed together in a short box or are stacked on each other, it created that crease. and it's been extremely problematic. I've had a couple customers send books to me that I pressed, got them off to CGC, and once they hit the Florida humid air, that crease pops right back up. So I've had to repress them. It's a horrible pain in the butt. But I have come up with a technique that's proving very successful in getting that out. We've got the same customer, James from Hive Comics. We got one of his pressed out, and it ended up a 9/8. And it started out with that crease. So it is possible to get rid of them. It's just a little tricky. And one that I actually got lucky enough to pick up a few of these. So we've got, they're just minor mutant keys, like as minor of a key as you can probably get. So I've got ROM Space Knight issue number 31. This is Rogue's second appearance. It ties into X-Men, I want to say 238. But this is actually the second appearance of Rogue. Of course, you got other mutants kind of hanging around as well. But that one, and you want to grab these minor keys, because that first appearance of Rogue, I mean, especially when these characters hit the MCU, that's going to shoot through the roof and become unobtainable. So this is your next best bet, second Rogue. And then we've got issue 30, that's 31, issue 32, ROM Space Knight. We got her right down there again. So you got Rogue's, this would be the fourth appearance of Rogue. So just some fun little keys there. Once these come back in a high grade, like we're looking at 9, I don't see any color breaks. So we're looking at 9, probably 9.6, 9.8 on those. So those will come back at a pretty decent return. So just some books I have in for pressing. Really thought those were cool. I also got this from my buddy Chad. He's the one that picked it up from our LCS. We've got Todd McFarlane's King Spawn issue number 1. This, of course, the 1 in 2,500 or 1 in 250. He signed and numbered them. So this is it, book number 1,596 out of 1,697. And once this is done, he's never, every one of these was autographed. So there are never going to be more autographs than this. And these came, the reason I'm showing this is these came with a certificate of authenticity for a CGC Signature Series book. So I've kind of done the legwork. There's really 2 tiers that you can, or 3 tiers you can send this in on. After I get it pressed, we can send it in on a $90 Signature Series tier, which is going to insure the book for $1,000. And I think that's the route that he's deciding that he wants to go with this. But you can also do the fast track at $135, and of course the walkthrough, it's like $180, something like that. One thing that we are noticing, and the reason I threw this up there, is he's going to have me press this and send it off, and it'll be out by the end of the day today. We've already seen these come back. So we've already seen people that have expressed them to CGC, and they take the books and they walk them through. And they're doing this, and there's a lot of backlash that we've heard, because people are saying they're walking through King Spawns for one customer while they're sitting on just receiving regular books for other customers. Keep in mind, you've got a 30-day window in which to send this book in to get it certified, to get the gold label. If it's not sent in within that 30 days, your only option is CBCS. So the reason that they're doing this is with that 30-day window, they have to receive 1,697 books and get them all graded and then shipped back out. If they were to put them at the end of the line, they won't make that 30-day cutoff. And I think that's important to note. It is a case of, I mean, we've all got CGC horror stories over the past couple of months. But in this case, I think they're doing the right thing by the customer and trying to get these done in a timely manner, as promised. I'm really curious as to find out where this is going to take the industry, however, because for the first time ever, CGC, like you can see their little logo right there, CGC is accepting a COA. I mean, I understand they kind of have to do it. Todd wanted it done, and he's Todd McFarlane. You're not going to argue with him. So it's really interesting to see if this is something that they will do for other creators in the future. I would like to see that kind of loosen up those policies and make it more user friendly on the collector's end. I think once they realize that they can maintain their income while doing these type of things for the customers, I think we'll see a lot more of that. So just some really cool books I wanted to show off. And I just got back into town yesterday. We did the charity auction last night, raised a few $100s to help fight cancer. And there's going to be more of that on the way. I'm going to be listing stuff on Macari today that's going to be going for the same cause. So super cool stuff going on there. But yeah, I just thought I'd pop on and show off some stuff. I will be going live from Black Hat Comics on Wednesday to show everybody what's on the wall. We'll be in there with Greg Gage. We do have some things planned coming up that hopefully are going to be exciting. I've been talking with James and Jonathan from Hive Comics about doing a weekly hour-long discussion. Not really a spec-based thing, but there's going to be some of that type of stuff. James and Jonathan are both excellent in the spec game. We will also sit down with some of our other Utah comic book people. Roger from the Nerd Store is really into foreign books and has an incredible knowledge there, and so we're going to tap him for some of that knowledge and kind of show off what comic life is like in Salt Lake. So you can look forward to that. And then Thursday we will do an open mic where we're going to show off the books we got this week, and everybody can jump in and if you want and show off your books and join that discussion. So a lot going on and getting back into the swing of things, creating content. So for now, that is about my half hour. So I am going to get to work and get some books done. And I'll talk to you later, traders.